like my style, go ahead and give me one mic. Everybody's got excuses, but you got one life to live, one life to give, one moment, one opportunity. Boy, that's it, and it's all said and done. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, you just go ahead and run. Cause opinions are like assholes, everybody has one. They're being constructive or they jealous of the outcome. It's not about the times you fail, it's about the times you got up. And I don't even care what the fuck your excuses is. Fact is, you just playing the cards of foolishness. What you think I'm doing is you gotta get up, get going and just move on. Don't look towards the past, you gotta groove on. You procrastinating now, you gotta get that motivation. I already created a track called Inspiration. Gotta get up, get going and get fucking hype. Go.
Welcome everybody to Wrestling Talk. Now it is Thursday, so that means it is the rundown, and I am here with the extreme man himself, Jeff. How goes it, good sir?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So it's, I guess, a busy-ish week in wrestling. Of course, we had Crown Jewel. Let's just start off with that, I guess, since that SmackDown doesn't necessarily matter. It was basically leading up to Crown Jewel stuff, and even then, they didn't really do a lot of Crown Jewel stuff for SmackDown. So nothing big there. But Crown Jewel, it happened. What kind of were your thoughts on the whole event itself? What was your your go-to match, if you will, for Crown Jewel?
I thought the event was okay. I mean, nothing much like other years. I thought it was a decent event. Nothing to wow over. Nothing to proclaim any new era of some sorts over. You know what I mean? But
No, it's
otherwise, I think there was a few matches I liked. I mean, I think most of them were pretty good. But overall, it was a decent show. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, well, with Crown Jewel, we're not going to get anything over the top crazy. It's essentially just a glorified house show. So, you're not going to get much there. Obviously, a lot of praise for Logan Paul with what he did there. He's obviously very talented. He knows how to control the fans. He knows what to say. He knows what to do in the ring. So, spot on performance by him. A lot of people are more respecting him more now, just given the fact that it's only his third match. So that match was really well done. And one of the takeaways, so no titles were changed aside from the tag team title, which was just won on Raw that week, with Alexa and Asuka winning it on Raw and then Damage Control taking it back. Not really sure what kind of story they're trying to tell there, especially given the fact that Bayley didn't win, right? If Bayley would have won the championship, okay, you're telling the story that Damage Control won all the titles that night, but you don't even have that happen. So not really quite sure what you're doing with Damage Control, why they win it and lose it and win it again in such a quick fashion, but that's what they did.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird with this faction, is that they had this huge pop when Bayley came back and those two other girls were with her, and it just seems like it's already starting to fizzle out, because like what you just said, back and forth with the titles. Bayley still hasn't won anything. You would think that she would have at least won. At least now, I think now would have been a good time to put the Raw Women's title on her. If you really want to make something out of this faction, and yet, once again, they're both the faction's titleless. So I don't get it. I don't. It's almost like if they did it just for that big pop, and all of a sudden it's we're done.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, thank you, Ambrosia, for coming on in. Always thanks for the support there. I think it might have something to do with this whole Sasha thing, right? So with Sasha and Naomi, we have seen reports that Sasha has already re-signed with WWE. So that's happening. It's just they don't know when to bring her back. So I think they were maybe thinking of when Damage Control won the first time to maybe have Sasha back with Naomi, then to maybe take it off. No, it wasn't Damage Control that won. I think Damage Control had. It was something during the last I think Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, or not Saudi Arabia, but the one at Wales, where they also kind of did the same
Clash
thing.
At the Castle there.
Clash at the Castle, exactly. So I don't know, but again, like if Sasha's already signed, how are you going back and forth with everything? You know, maybe it's a schedule conflict or whatever, because Sasha and Naomi, I guess, have other stuff already since they thought they were going to get fired. They had other things. Who knows? But now we actually get a War Games match, Survivor Series War Games between the two, being Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. How can I forget Asuka? Between Bianca, Alexa, Asuka versus Damage Control, who now we have Nikki Cross as part of Damage Control, which is something they did weird there too, because Nikki attacked both, and then she joined them the next week. So, but she's playing the crazy character, so I guess it works, right?
But doesn't this booking seem very, very familiar to you? That the kind of booking that doesn't make much sense.
Listen, pal, I'm not there anymore. You can't blame Vince McMahon. Yeah, I mean, it does seem up Vince's alley to not know what to do. But I mean, look, it could happen, you know, with anybody, I guess. I think Trips is maybe he's booking it some way, and then maybe he's like, oh, crap, wait, I can get this person and come back here. That person could come back too at the same time. Because there's rumors, because Damage Control needs one more person for their team, right? So there is rumors that either Charlotte Flair will be coming back for the match, because now we don't know what's happening with Charlotte. She's been out for quite some time. So Charlotte is coming back, or it might be what's her name? Gargano's wife there. LeRae. Candice LeRae.
Okay.
Might be joining Damage Control. And then the two spots for Bianca's team is most likely going to be Naomi and Sasha. That's the rumors we're kind of getting. So I don't know, maybe Trips wanted everybody to be there at the same time kind of thing. Then they could maybe build a feud with, I don't know, Charlotte and Bianca or whatever have you. I don't know. He's got to be thinking something. He can't do everything.
No, don't you find that having Sasha come back with her name just escapes me. What's
Naomi? How dare you? Naomi deserves better.
Not really, but don't you find that it actually hurts Sasha coming back with Naomi as opposed to her coming back alone?
Well, I mean, their tag team was popular enough for it not to be I mean, Sasha will always be a better person alone, though. Sasha can do her thing, you know what I mean? But her and Naomi do have great chemistry. Under Triple H's reign, who knows what they can do with Naomi to make her a little bit better. If anything, the Sasha-Naomi tag team was more helping out Naomi more so than anything, making her more relevant in the company and on the said brand. So I think you kind of have to at least start it off with them coming back as a tag team, because there's really not that many tag teams, women tag teams at least right now. So I think at least maybe until, I don't know, maybe Royal Rumble, you come back as a tag team, and then something happens within the Rumble where they decide to throw each other out or something, and then, hey, no more Sasha and Naomi or something, you know?
Yeah, I can see that happening. Have them come back together just for the sake of the War Games. Yeah, makes sense.
That's it. And they're obviously going to be both face, and then eventually, I feel Sasha is it? I haven't seen Sasha in a while, but I recall her being heel was the better play for her usually. No,
because
of her sassiness and whatever, she really did that role well. Um, so we'll definitely see what happens. That was kind of, I mean, the Brutes and Usos match was great as well at Crown
Hmm.
Jewel. That was as good as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as good as, of course, Brutes versus Imperium, but it was great. It was fine in its own right. Usos, of course, retained though. Would have kind of liked to have seen the Brutes win that, just to change it up a little, but whatever. They're telling a long storyline there. I think when Roman loses it, or if the Usos lose it, Roman's losing it right after, and that will be they're telling the story of the fall of the bloodline. So
Yeah,
it's going to be a while for that.
yeah, that's true.
But that, I guess, is pretty
No,
much.
it's otherwise the other matches were okay. Like Karrion Cross, McIntyre was fine. Nothing special. Bobby Lashley, Lesnar, I didn't really care for.
Well, that was also a really weird thing that they did, but I guess we kind of see what they did on Raw with Lashley, right? So Lashley was dominating that match. Lesnar takes the win, though, because Lesnar probably said, hey, I'm going to still win the match, though, because you're paying me a lot and I have a right to say whatever I'm going to do in my matches. So I'm still winning. Yeah, it was all right. Made Lashley look like a beast, though. And then afterwards, he ends up putting the Hurt Lock on Lesnar. So you get to see Lashley more of a monster. We also saw a lot of him on Raw do somewhat the same thing, annihilating Seth Rollins and then Austin Theory. The Braun Strowman Omis match was crap. Braun Strowman doesn't seem to think so. He thinks it was 47 stars, and there was a whole thing about that. It was a joke, but a lot of people gave him backlash for it because he was insulting the flippy doers of the wrestling business. And, but that's Strowman. Strowman talks a lot of stupid shit, and he probably shouldn't have a social media. But, I digress with that. But Crown Jewel was all right. It wasn't, I think it was better than the Elimination Chamber. Crown Jewel was better than the Elimination
I think
Chamber match.
I think if you go over the entire card itself, yeah, that'd be fair to say.
That's it. And and I guess they kind of told a few stories. So we'll go into Raw as well. As Raw ended up showcasing Lashley being a beast again. He's the one that took up Seth Rollins' challenge. He was going to come out after beating up Ali. Ali was going to take it, but then Lashley comes in and just annihilates him. Poor Ali, man. Even in the Triple H regime, he's not getting his due. But what can you do with that? But then Lashley comes and accepts the challenge, but the match never ends up happening, and Lashley just basically destroys Seth Rollins outside. And so we see what they're trying to do with Lashley here. They're trying to make him as the next monster. Maybe this might be leading to a title shot picture. Maybe him against Roman at some point for like Rumble or something. I don't know, but they're certainly they are certainly making him out to be a beast, and not just for the U.S. Or I just thought of it, maybe for Gunther.
You go from Brock Lesnar to Gunther. Unless that match only happens because he's there to get Gunther over.
Yeah, it's true. You can't have Gunther lose.
No offense to him. I know Gunther's he's a good talent, but you go from a high-profile feud with Lesnar back and forth, and then you go to Gunther. It's because I think it's more that they're going to see where Gunther could go.
Well, I just think Lashley and Lesnar are so limited in what they can really, what kind of story they can tell there. Because I genuinely feel that we know how Lesnar will give it his all if he likes where it's going, right? Or if he likes you as an individual or as a wrestler, he respects the business in that regard. And I don't know, just with the Lesnar matches, Lesnar Lashley matches we've seen, they haven't really been all that great. So I don't know if Lesnar's really into it. So I really don't want to see Lesnar Lashley again. if that's where they're going.
They'll have a schmaz during the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's fair. Unless Trips drops the ball and puts Omos versus Lashley or something, which no, they already did that. Hopefully they don't redo that because that's ridiculous. I don't know. So we'll see what story they're trying to tell with Lashley. We'll see what story they're also trying to tell with Austin Theory, because Austin Theory, for some stupid reason, ended up cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase for a shot at the U.S. Championship, which that whole segment was just a clusterfuck. You ended up having Lashley beat Austin Theory as well, and then Austin Theory not even be able to get the job done on a broken and beaten Seth Rollins. Made Seth Rollins look amazing and makes Lashley look amazing, but gee golly, it makes Austin Theory look like
gee golly. What are you in the 40s?
I'm in the 40s, Jesus. Good sir. I'm way past my prime. I'm in the 40s.
No, no, not the age of 40, in the 1940s, by the way.
I got that. I know.
Yeah.
I know,
so, I find it weird. I almost seems like the Money in the Bank doesn't mean anything anymore, because it used to be a world title shot. Now he's cashing it in for a U.S. title shot. To me, it's just like they're losing interest in the Money in the Bank completely.
Yeah, but there was also rumors they might. So there, and I think it falls into that play of them wanting to remove gimmick pay-per-views, right? So Elimination Chamber, they're going to keep Royal Rumble, of course. They're going to most likely keep Survivor Series, but Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, TLC, they're going to get rid of these gimmick pay-per-views. I think you have to kind of reinvent the Money in the Bank, just because the last few Money in the Bank winners, they really just didn't know what to do with it. Austin Theory, I didn't mind Austin Theory technically cashing in on the United States Championship, because we saw him before say that he might cash it in on the NXT title, right? So then that's when we were introduced into, okay, you can cash it into whatever title you want. I think we only assumed it was the world because that's what everybody was doing. They would, because who wouldn't want to cash it into the world title picture when you can? Why would you go for the IC US or whatever? So I do think it made the US Championship look prestigious in that regard. So I was like, all right, cool. I like that. You're actually, the only thing I didn't like is, okay, but you just had that title. So why do you want it again? And why were you so happy to win the Money in the Bank to go for that title?
Yeah,
it's it makes sense. Weird for me. And why would you cash it in on an open challenge match? Yeah. When that open challenge didn't even technically happen because the bell never rang. So I don't know. It was a bit of a clusterfuck of an ending to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that, speaking of Monday Night Raw, we have Mia Yim return to WWE and be part of the OC, helping out the OC to face Rhea Ripley. She basically beat up Rhea Ripley with a kendo stick. And so we're most likely going to get our second Survivor Series matchup. No, they can't do 2 women's Survivor Series matches, can they?
What, in War Games? Oh, do you mean the 2? Oh, for Survivor Series.
For Survivor Series, I'm thinking that's what they do. They do OC versus Judgment Day. And now that you have Mia Yim as part of the OC, you can finally do a full-fledged Judgment Day versus the OC.
But I'm getting, maybe I'm confused. The War Games match they're going to do with the women, is that at Survivor Series?
That would be at Survivor Series. So both Survivor Series matches are going to be War Games.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, but then you're going to be. There's also going to be a men's one, I imagine, too. No.
Yeah, well, that's
so I don't.
Primarily, most of the people in that match are men anyway, for the exception of Rhea Ripley and Mia Yim. So.
This is true. Okay, yeah, so they can definitely do that. That would work. And then you don't have to do a whole bloodline scenario. Maybe just do a tag, at least get your tag team titles on the Survivor Series pay-per-view. I don't know if the world will be defended, but we'll see what happens there. So you only caught a little bit of Raw, right? Did you hear about the whole Miz scenario?
No, I didn't hear about it.
Okay, but you know what's going on. Obviously, Gargano is going to blow the whistle. He blew the whistle a little bit last week on the recording that he had, that he was hiring Loomis to beat him up. And then ultimately he stopped paying Loomis. So now this is why Loomis is angry at The Miz. So now it's legitimate. Loomis is stalking The Miz legitimately. Okay, so that's where we were last week. And then this week, The Miz admits it through Gargano blowing the whistle once again by showing video footage of The Miz talking to a producer or a director of a film who was in fact a private investigator that Gargano hired, and The Miz just dished everything out, saying that, yeah, I hired Loomis for that, yada yada yada. And so now The Miz looks stupid, and Gargano and The Miz had a fantastic match. I think that's worth checking out.
Yeah, two guys who are going to put a really good match on you for sure. Johnny Gargano always puts on good matches. Is it Big Red that doesn't like The Miz?
It's Big Red, yeah.
Big Red, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I can say in ring, I think he's pretty good.
And I think he's a safe worker. He's a professional in the ring. He's a safe worker. He's good.
Yeah, I just think his allure has kind of washed away. He's not that big star that he was, when he was champion. I think that's pretty much done and dusted that. But he'll put on a good match. That's at least you're guaranteed that,
Yeah. So you're at least The Miz is obviously past his prime, but he can definitely still help the younger talent and so on and so forth. I don't know if The Miz will get another world championship opportunity. But we'll see. Even if he did, I don't think the fans would be necessarily angry about it. He can help still make it prestigious. He's not out of it yet. So I just was surprised. So I guess the whole story we're going to get with this is Miz versus Loomis, essentially, probably at Survivor Series. And then I just don't know what you do with Loomis afterwards. I feel like you've painted Loomis like around this whole scenario, and then you kind of really don't have him go anywhere else. Like he beats The Miz, and then what? Him and Gargano were so close. Is it a tag team? I don't know.
That's the thing. It's like you've been building him up as the stalker, and it's like that's been his allure there. The fact that he's the stalker, and he has to look for it. I mean, it's a good look for that storyline. But then what are you going to do? Have him stalk every person he feuds with? You're going to get sick and tired. I think you're going to get sick and tired of the character fast. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once this feud's over and done with Loomis. I always liked the guy's work. I liked him in TNA. I liked his work there.
Oh shit! I keep forgetting he was in TNA.
Yeah, I think it was Sebastian Shaw or something like that. His name in TNA.
Okay, yeah,
something like that. Yeah. But I always liked the guy's work. He was a good wrestler. So he's this obviously is a chance to get him over. He was a big name in the company. So
and The Miz can take a loss, no problem. So
and it won't hurt him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would maybe even like to see, I feel like the Loomis and Seth could have a good program. Maybe bringing Loomis towards winning the U.S. championship off Seth. I think that would be a good move for Seth. Because I honestly think Seth is leading towards, if not facing Cody, facing Roman for WrestleMania. I think that's maybe
Seth
where
Rollins,
they're going to... Seth Rollins. I don't know. Like, I still feel there's a story to be told there. And I honestly don't think if you can get The Rock, great. But I don't know, man. The Rock is just too kind of busy. Flair had a take on that. He mentioned that why would The Rock show up if he was going to lose? But, you know, it's family and whatever. What does Flair know? It's more just about the insurance and all that. And really, are you going to risk what if you know? But yeah, I think the best story to be told there is if obviously you can't get Dwayne, Roman versus Seth. Roman never beat Seth, sort of ordeal. Somehow maybe getting Cody involved if he's back by then, if he does in fact show up at the Royal Rumble. So I think that would be kind of cool. You have Loomis winning it off Seth for the US Championship, and then this would allow Seth to go for the bigger title.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that I wouldn't mind seeing. It's just that the point that you made earlier is there's a story to be told, but we've already seen that story many times. You know,
Which story?
well, yeah, you know, ex-Shield members. It's like, you know, we've seen it before. It's like we've never seen it before.
But it wasn't continued. It wasn't finished, rather. Remember? Because I think because that story
got sick? Was that when Roman got sick?
No, I think it was even after that. It was after Roman came back and he was already bad. Remember when he did the whole knock at the door on SmackDown as like the Shield knock and kind of making fun of him? It was some pay-per-view earlier this year where he kind of dressed up as the Shield Seth and he faced Roman, right? But it was a schmoz finish. I think Roman. Was it Roman who passed out or someone passed out and could get to the ropes or something? And it was like a schmoz finish. So I think that story has been told, but it also hasn't been finished, which is the thing. Roman has not been able to beat Seth. But I guess it all depends on what Cody does too, right? Does Cody end up winning the Royal Rumble? That's what a lot of people are saying now. So
it makes sense.
You know, I mean, I think
especially if he's in it,
yeah. If he's in it, Cody would almost certainly have to win.
Hello.
Maybe we'll finally get the full story before Rumble, with what's going on there. So we shall see. So. That was pretty much Raw. Mia Yim shows up. That's cool. She's finally back. I'm surprised she didn't go to. End up going to AEW to be with Keith. But you know, she probably felt she might be better off with at least Trips taking reins over there on WWE. So that's where she decided to stay.
Hey, it doesn't mean she signed a long-term deal. You know, unless you know the terms of the deal, I mean, we don't know. Well, I don't see her being long term in the OC. I think this is just you know, run to the store, leave your stream open. Okay, don't waste all your data.
Or I mean, no, that's it. Hopefully you leave it at home on Wi-Fi. No need to waste your data on this. Not needed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it just her being there just makes sense for the feud against the Judgment Day. So
you don't think she works well with the OC though? I find it's a neat fit. I think that's a very interesting choice, and that at least would give Mia Yim something. Give her something at least. You know what I mean? Like. She can easily represent the OC while she's going after the women's championship whenever she does that, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. I think it depends what they do with her after Judgment Day, but I think it's at least a nice fit. A faction. Judgment Day is not the only faction with a woman in it and several men. So at least that kind of balances each other out. And I don't know, they kind of all fit together. She kind of has the same style as AJ to a certain extent. So yeah, I don't mind
Yeah,
it.
but I think with Rhea Ripley in Judgment Day, I think just her look overall fits that ominous group that they are trying to go for.
Right.
Whereas I almost don't see that. Like, I just think the OC works better, just those three guys. It's going to be interesting to see how she's going to be in the group. Is she going to be around them all the time, like kind of like Rhea Ripley is? I don't know.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how she's written in the storylines with them. Is it just going to be a thing where she's just a part of the group and she goes for the women's title and she's not really with them a whole lot? Is she always going to be coming
Mhm.
out with them? Because if you don't see her coming out with them with the three guys or any of them for that matter, then
Right.
it's almost like, yeah, she's a part of the group, but whatever. She's just like a hanger on.
Well, when they did the backstage segment, it kind of felt like she was just kind of like helping them out. Oh, we're gonna go for beers, da da da, after the show, and
Yeah,
like they were saying all of that, and she's like, "Yeah, guys, it's on me," kind of thing. So I don't know. It just
yeah,
seems more like because usually with the faces of the company, when you help someone out or whatever have you, you don't necessarily have them come out with you unless you're doing a tag team match or something. If you're out there alone, if it's a one-on-one, usually they won't come and help unless of course the heel team brings all their people with them as well. So
yeah,
I don't know, it could kind of work out. It could just be like a buddy thing.
yeah.
I hope you guys when you need it. And I'm really excited to maybe see a Rhea versus Mia Yim whole feud. That might be fun. I don't know if they're gonna push her straight away to the world title picture, Mia Yim. So
Mia Yim, no,
she was never
no,
champion in NXT, yeah?
don't think so. No, no.
Okay, so we shall
Yeah,
see.
not right away. Not right away. Maybe eventually with time to see how she kind of grows back into that character, into the character, into with that faction too.
Mhm.
If she's just like doesn't get lost in the shuffle, then if that's what happens, if she gets lost in the shuffle, then forget it. She's not gonna get a women's title. She's not gonna win the belt. No.
Right. Yeah, she's almost gonna be almost where Alexa is, although Alexa won the tag team champions, but now she lost it again. Like Alexa's almost trying to find herself. Mia Yim is she just debuted, so I don't know. Let's give her a chance. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
See how she is on the mic. How her wrestling is without a kendo stick. So only time will tell on that one. Another person we will be seeing if she can wrestle still will in fact be Saraya, aka Paige. She is finally back and she challenged Britt Baker at Full Gear.
Yeah.
And she has been officially cleared. Read a report she had mentioned. I think she had posted at her being cleared from the doctors. The actual paperwork, but also she found out that she was actually just being cleared around Halloween. So it was fairly recent that she found out that she can, in fact, wrestle again. So really excited for that. Great promo on Dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she looks like she's on cloud nine, though. She's super excited. She must have been super nervous. She even kind of got out of character at one point when the fans were just chanting like crazy. Completely understandable. And she killed it on that promo, aside from the mess up with the Tokyo Dome. But,
Yeah, it's true. I don't remember her ever wrestling. I know she
No,
said that. I was like,
she alluded to it, though. She meant the sumo something. She meant another place. It wasn't the Tokyo Dome.
Okay.
She had called.
I don't remember. I don't remember WWE. Maybe Saitama Super Arena. Is that it? One of those when they went to Japan, like for Raw or something like that. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember them being in the dome. Yeah. But
Well, I mean, it could have also been when she went, because when she came from what is it? It's when she came from England, she didn't come directly to WWE. No, wasn't she on the indie scene for a bit?
yeah, she did the Indies. She ran the Indies in Europe. Yeah.
In Europe, okay, but I mean, when she came to North America, she went straight away to WWE.
I think so. I don't remember hearing her going to any indie area unless maybe she did like some spots before going to WWE
Okay.
to kind of get used to the American crowd. But I don't remember like Ring of Honor. I don't think so. I don't remember her ever being in Ring of Honor.
No, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I don't
okay.
remember her being in New Japan either, though. So I can understand. That's why when she said the Tokyo Dome, I said, "Shit, was she in? Did she do a spot in New Japan?" I don't think so, but you know.
Yeah, I
But
know. So she certainly
the
did.
the promo from both women was really good. Like Saraya or however he pronounced it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's ways of pronouncing it to get it right. So
Well,
don't.
Taz seems to keep correcting himself.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, Taz, you're thinking too much to it, bro. Like, just
yeah,
let it slide.
that
Excalibur might
commentary.
correct you, but
Yeah, the commentary table with the Taz, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur is good. I like that because Taz always
it's excellent.
likes to make jokes. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, both women put on a really good promo. Like KC would say, it's a banger of a promo. You know, dare I say? No, but it was really good. I mean, it told the story that they're trying to tell with both women. It gave a chance for Saraya to kind of say, "Hey, I'm back." We all know Britt Baker's over anyway, but it was really good. I liked it. I really liked it. Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing that Full Gear. I would even go as far as saying that might be match of the night.
Wow. Okay.
And that's saying a lot because this card, Full Gear's card, is pretty stacked. So
yeah, it is pretty stacked, and I mean, we still got 2 weeks away, but I feel like they already have. Well, then again, their pay-per-views are always generally pretty freaking long. But with Full Gear, Jesus. Okay, yeah, with Full Gear. No, I thought I had it. Yeah, let's check here. Voila. Perfect. Yeah, I think I also.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. You're gonna run down the card? Is that what you're gonna do? Run down
Yeah,
the card
I was thinking. I was thinking of maybe running down the card for Full Gear because.
Well, here I see. I don't know if this was announced. I might have missed this for Dynamite, but it looked like Darby Allin and Sting against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Was that announced?
Yeah, so it was technically announced, I think, on Dynamite.
Okay.
But I feel like Jeff Jarrett wasn't the one that announced it because when Jeff Jarrett came out, he was talking about Sting. And then I feel like at the end of the show, they had announced it. Like the commentators when Daniel Bryan won the match. So I was uber confused there. And I was like, oh, that's a match now? I was like, okay. The thing they announced was the stipulation for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Right. That's the thing they announced on Rampage. But I mean, it's a pretty stacked card already. I mean, you of course have MJF versus Jon Moxley. You got Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm.
That's I think that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's going to be one of those surprises. Not because you don't expect anything from them, but obviously the Saraya Britt Baker match is to see how she's going to perform. I could be wrong. I mean, Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter have wrestled before, and the match was, I think it was during the Owen Hart tournament, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was great. I loved it. I love that match between those two. I mean, there's a lot of matches.
I think that was maybe match of the night for the Owen Hart tournament. Yeah. Not the match of the tournament rather. So
yeah, I just have a feeling that if Saraya is really like, she's in in good shape. I think she can put on a really, really good match with Britt. But Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter, that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be a different story altogether. This is more just to see how much ring rust, Saraya has. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I really, honest to God, don't remember how Paige was back in the day. I think I remember not minding her wrestling. I feel like she was a decent wrestler. I just don't remember being like over the edge, like, oh my God, I gotta watch. You know what I mean? Like, I thought she was decent.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was better than Sasha or Bianca or Becky. But again, it's totally different because Paige wasn't even wrestling by the time Bianca or Sasha even became a thing, anyways, right? Or Becky, for that matter. So,
yeah, I think wasn't the title still called the Divas title when?
I think
Sasha?
so. Yeah. So she hasn't wrestled.
Not Sasha, sorry, Paige.
For what?
No, I was accidentally
Paige was
said
there.
Sasha.
Yeah.
I meant Paige. Yeah.
Yeah. One job.
Yeah. It's fuck.
So Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. Saw this coming. I don't know. I think it's maybe too early to get it off the Acclaimed. They're really, really the fans are really into them. So I think this is maybe where we finally see the breakup of Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Because Swerve just keeps doing heel tactics, and eventually Keith Lee won't be able to take his crap anymore. That match, by the way, on Dynamite was fantastic as an opener. The 4-on-4.
Yeah, it was, and it's surprising. It's a little surprising too because you never really expect a lot out of 4-on-4 matches,
right?
But I really liked it. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with FTR too, because I mean, it's like sooner or later they're going to have to, I would assume, lose the other belts and maybe just have a run with the AEW belts.
Well, I think they're going to go to ROH, man. I think that's what's going to happen there, though.
No, they can't. They can't go. They can't go be only on ROH, and that's AEW's top tag team.
Yeah, but they're just not doing anything with them, though. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that's why. I'm thinking Tony Khan doesn't want to get them into a whole big thing because he wants to just have them at ROH because they have a pay-per-view coming out on the 10th, right, of December.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to maybe, I don't know, mess around with that. It is, it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks away. What do we know? It's a month away, essentially. I don't know. Why aren't you doing anything with them? You know what I mean? I don't really recall FTR necessarily having an overly huge storyline either.
Well, the only time they did was against the Young Bucks, and look what happened. Young Bucks went over, as per usual.
As right. That's it. And speaking of the Young Bucks, or should I say the Elite, we got another little segment with the Elite of them disappearing again. This time we see the whole, essentially it's them disappearing, but also showing flashbacks of when they started, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and all that. But this time we see a bunch of full gear graphics with a bunch of gears going around them and all that. So this, of course, alluding to All Elite will be debuting at Full Gear.
You mean the Elite, All Elite?
Oh well, the Elite. Okay. The Elite.
I have a crazy thought. What about if this is CM Punk's heel turn? Maybe the buyout doesn't work.
I think are you trying to mimic me here and try to be delusional? Are you serious?
No, I am. Now I'm trying to mimic you. But
I just don't know what they're gonna do though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I don't think
they're gonna be heel. I imagine.
Who's behind heel? But they already were. That's the thing. They kind of already were. Like when Kenny was champion for the year, It's like, fuck, man, we already saw that, them as heels, and it didn't work. For me, it didn't work. I think
Yeah, but
they were too white meat to be heels. Their money, I think, is being babyface. Because
it is.
when they were,
just feel this.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Again? No, when they
No,
were heels in New Japan, it was fucking guy talk. God damn it! I give you the floor, you don't say anything. When they
we're
were
too
heels
Canadian for this shit.
Yeah, when they were heels in New Japan, they were like I've said it before. They were backup dancers to Gallows and Anderson.
Okay.
Because Gallows and Anderson was the heel tag team. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they were just like the junior tag team champions. Then they left, and it's like, okay, it opened the door for them to be the main heel tag team. That's why I just think their money is babyface.
Well, then again, Kenny Omega did really good as a heel, no?
But that's him.
Right.
That's him. That works for him. It doesn't mean that just because they're friends that they necessarily have to follow each other. It's like,
right.
Look at the Click. Look at the Click. The Click in WWE, they worked with each other and against each other.
Right.
And that was good, for business at that time, right? They put on always really, really good matches, despite them being really close friends. So it's like, do you have to do that with the Elite? I'm curious. I'm just curious to see who's behind that whole like burning of the photo and disappearing. Okay, fine.
Well, that's why it's cryptic. That's why I think it has to be heel, right? You don't put on a segment like that with them disappearing, the burning of the photos, and them being a face coming in.
But why would they do that to themselves? Like, why would they burn? Like, it's almost like if they're starting over, like they're starting over as heels. You're not.
I was
not
just
gonna
thinking.
Work.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of. I think they are going to resent AEW for suspending them after all that they've done for the company. So it's going to be almost like a retaliation. Like, I'm burning my memories of this company and I'm going to burn this company to the ground, so to speak. It's like what I had mentioned a few weeks ago, where I think maybe it's going to be almost like we're going to go to ROH scenario and we're going to combat you guys, and them do maybe like an ROH versus AEW thing. I don't know. Like, that's how I kind of read into it, right? Like, why would you, if you were face especially, what does this mean then? You're just not going to be the Elite. You're going to create something entirely new, and everyone's going to like you. Everyone's going to still call you the Elite. Like, how is that going to work? It just seems too cryptic for me.
They don't have to come back together.
But that segment implies that, no?
Or that segment of them disappearing means that maybe it's someone that they might have wrestled in the past, someone from New Japan that's coming in, that's like wanting to get rid of the Elite, because that's the way I see it. It's someone that's I know I said CM Punk, and that's like,
I like that though.
Far fetched, But let's say it was. Okay, let's say it was CM Punk, and storyline wise, that would make perfect sense, because if you use that whole shit that happened at the press conference, and you build that into a storyline, that would be the perfect. Let's say if it were to be him, that would be the perfect way to have CM Punk turn heel. You're using what happened in real life into the storyline, and it's like, now I'm here to get rid of the Elite. If it were to be him, and if it's somebody else, then okay, it's somebody else that's from their past that obviously has to be a big enough name, or else why would they be doing this second week in a row, right?
Right.
So that's why, obviously, yeah. We would all think that it's not going to be CM Punk because of obviously the rumors of the buyout. I mean, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed that he got bought out of his deal, but
not 100% confirmed, but
no. So that's what
that would be the biggest swerve, though. Like, holy shit! All this time,
but that's the point. That's my point. That if you want to make, that's what it should be. Now, if you want to get, if especially if you're serious about building the audience, this is what makes it work. This is what makes your ratings go up. Swerve the audience, fucking work the crowd. If you're able to work your audience, that everyone now believes that most audience are smart marks, then work your audience. You swerve them completely, they're gonna say, "Fucking shit, you guys got me," and boom, ratings go up.
That would be nuts. That would almost be fuck. Tony would have to get for sure the Booker of the Year award that apparently he so seemingly wants to get, because that would be fucked. You know what I mean? That whole shit was a work. That would be wild. Really don't see it. It's far fetched, but I love it, and I hope it happens.
Maybe if it wasn't a work, no, the fight. I'm not suggesting that would have been a work, but let's say if it was real, okay,
right?
But then you turn that real, the shit that happened in real life, but then you do business. You know, like if Tony would have been smart and sat all of them down, say, listen, this and this happened. Fine, it's in the past. Now let's go make money, and that's how you make money. You know, make all the entire audience believe that CM Punk's going to be gone, that Jericho shot on him, and that he said that you're a cancer for the crowd. Now he comes back with a chip on his shoulder, more so than he would have had in real life. And now you have a reason to have that chip on your shoulder, and you're using what happened in real life as a storyline. I would love it. That's me.
I would love it too. Yeah,
I don't know what guys.
I'm having like goosebumps just thinking about that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the boys would be behind that too. It's very far fetched, but again, I could see that being something that would make everyone just go crazy. No one would see that coming. And I swear to God, if that ends up being the thing. They've been hiding it this whole time, so I imagine a dirt sheet won't know anything, or as Big Red would say, the dirty sheets wouldn't know anything. Fuck, that would be crazy. But but if it's not CM Punk, you're very right. It could easily be someone who wants to eliminate the Elite. It's just it really has to be a huge freaking name, because a lot of people are going to be disappointed if you don't have Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks show up.
Hey, it could be Tama Tonga and his brother. You know, the Gorillas of Destiny.
Okay.
Gorillas of Destiny against the Elite. That's money too.
That's money too. You know? That's fair.
So
yeah, it's looking to be a great card. With that, we also have Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill. Here's to hoping Jade loses finally. But again, I don't know if Nyla would necessarily.
No, but you know what? I kind of see it, because it's almost like Jade's been flirting with being a babyface lately. You know, you kind of see her almost getting cheers now when she comes to the ring, because obviously Nyla's still playing the role of the heel. Right. So having her lose. So it's like she loses, but then she builds back up as a babyface. I think it helps Jade out a lot.
Yeah, but then you kind of also ruin her whole record, right? Her wrestling record of, what is it, 50-0 now, or whatever it is. Like that.
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, I mean, she would have to lose eventually.
No, that's fair, but just to turn her face, I feel like. I mean, then again, that could be a thing too. You know what I mean? She gets pulverized by Nyla Rose to the point where, you know, the fans have feel sympathy for Cargill and so on and so forth, and completely changes her whole outlook. That might be cool. Maybe that's what we need from Jade. Maybe her being a face kind of might be better, because I haven't been convinced with her and her baddies really being anything. Like, she's all right. She's a decent wrestler, but I don't care for her gimmick. So, and the match that might be honestly match of the night as well, the fatal four-way match for the ROH World Title. Again, I think this was just randomly announced at the end. Sammy Guevara versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
We just saw Sammy Guevara and Bryan Danielson do a hell of a match, 2 out of 3 falls on Dynamite, which was uber fun, regardless if you like Sammy Guevara or not. The guy can wrestle. And Daniel Bryan also just obviously put on a clinic. That was really fun. Add Jericho to the mix for some entertainment, and Claudio Castagnoli can definitely pull his own weight. I don't know if this is just going to be too many good men in one match to the point where it's maybe a bit too much, but this could be a real fun time as well.
If the match takes its time to tell the story, it could be good. Yeah. If they rush through it, then it's a problem.
Right. And spoiler alert, if on Rampage this coming Friday, it is announced that Jungle Boy is going to put the match stipulation of it being a steel cage match against Luchasaurus at Full Gear. So finally, this storyline's going to come to an end. I kind of stopped caring for it, but at least it's going to be in a cage, and hopefully, I feel like you need to give it to Luchasaurus, but I guess it's Jungle Boy's story to tell. Story of redemption about the best friend losing his best friend, turning his back on him and so on. So maybe it's Jungle Boy's redemption story here, but should be a fun match.
How about Jungle Boy wins and then Christian forces Luchasaurus to take his mask off? He's so pissed at Luchasaurus, like, take your mask off now. We all once again, we all know what he looks like. There's no secret there. He's been on national TV before. So.
Right. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. Again, the last time I saw him was on what was it? Big Brother 16 or something?
Big Brother 16, yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. So dude could have changed a bit. I think it's time to get rid of the mask.
Why don't you take a sip of your coffee? Take a sip of your coffee instead of just holding the mug in front of your face and talking. There you go. See? Can't even fucking drink properly. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost it.
We done lost it. No, but I mean, I don't know. I think he does need to lose the mask. If he does end up losing the mask after the match, I feel like that turns him face, though. And then he'll just take Jungle Boy's side kind of thing. Maybe they'll shake hands. And but then again, I don't want them to be together anymore. Like,
no.
I feel Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy has been bringing Luchasaurus down with it being a tag team. I think they both need to do single runs. But yet again, they're still stuck with each other in a feud. So, we'll see what happens there. And that is, we got the tournament elimination finals obviously going to be happening, but we'll see what happens there.
We all know that John Moxley and MJF is going to be good.
Yeah, that should be a fun match. And honestly, they got to stop hinting at it. I'm not going to use my diamond ring. I'll tell you why you're not going to use your diamond ring. Because William Regal is going to use his brass knucks to give MJF the win. Like, I already see it happening, man.
Yeah.
No?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that would make...
Like, he keeps making that statement, and then we saw William Regal take out his brass knucks. Yes, it's an homage to what he did back in the day, but it's also foreshadowing for what he's going to do. Perhaps at Full Gear. Either way, I think that's fantastic. I think William Regal and MJF as a pairing is going to be amazing. just based off that promo that we saw. We know William Regal obviously still has it. He can talk. I just don't necessarily know if MJF needs a mouthpiece, obviously. But that's not to say maybe he'll just be like, what he did with Combat Club there. When MJF goes and wrestles, he'll be with the announce team kind of thing, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's pretty much your Full Gear card so far.
We'll obviously cover it next week with the other guys too.
And I mean, we'll still have a week after before. Oh no, we're already. Yeah, it's coming up.
It's next week. Yeah, it's next week.
It's next week already. So we'll definitely be previewing it next week again. Obviously, I imagine also Samoa Joe and maybe Wardlow will be a match
added to it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I would see that obviously in lieu of what happened third Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Unless I don't know. Well, what do you do with Hobbs now too, though? Right? Because Hobbs was technically part of that story. So maybe you have a triple threat.
Samoa Joe, or Samoa Joe loses the ROH title at the was it Death Before Dishonor or Final Battle their last pay-per-view?
Final Battle, but that's on the 10th.
Oh. Okay,
of December. Okay. So, we'll see. It's still a lot of stuff to do. AEW, though, already has a pretty fantastic card. It should be a good one.
Dynamite, by the way, Dynamite was a good show.
Dynamite was fantastic. We saw Jeff Jarrett again, but, what can you do? I don't know. I don't care about Jeff Jarrett being on my TV screen. I don't mind him in the back. Do what you need in the back, whatever, but it just gives me bad memories from when he was in Impact or TNA and even WCW with his slap nuts and whatever. Like, I didn't care for him then, and I don't care. He's a decent wrestler, but I just don't care. So he's gonna do another tag team match. That's happening. Oh, Jesus. And I guess that's pretty much it in terms of injury updates. So Bobby Roode looks to be coming back sooner rather than later. He's currently still healing up. He was in Birmingham, which is the go-to place where a lot of superstars go for treating their injuries and so on. So looks like he should be back sooner rather than later, and he will be on the SmackDown brand. It looks like. So that's great for Bobby Roode. There's rumors that he might have his Glorious thing back, which, you know what? Trips was in charge of NXT when that happened. I'm sure Trips wouldn't mind bringing that back. Because his talents were not being utilized for a very, very long time. Really, since he got onto the main roster. So,
and also he's a good wrestler.
I really enjoyed him even in TNA. I thought even in TNA he was freaking fantastic. Beer Money, was it Beer Money? Yeah,
he was a Fortune. He was a part of Fortune after that. Action with Ric Flair. So he's it's too bad he hasn't achieved what you would have expected him to achieve in WWE.
He achieved a lot in NXT, but then after that, once he got to the main roster, it was all downhill from there. They won the tag team titles.
But that's the thing, though. It's like you could achieve as much as you want in NXT, but what matters is on the main card, the main roster.
Right.
Now, you don't cut it on the main roster. It's almost like whatever you did in NXT, it's whatever.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It's non-existent. And another injury update, R-Truth also got injured in NXT. He faced, I think it was Grayson Waller. I mean, still the poor guy got injured, and it looks like he tore his quad while jumping off the top rope. He couldn't finish the match, and it looks like he might be out for another 6 months. So there's that. And that's probably why they got rid of the 24/7 championship as well. We saw what's her face win it. Nikki Cross win it. And then she didn't throw it in the trash. She missed it. but she attempted to throw it in the trash, and WWE even confirmed that it's on their like past belts. And it says the year, I think it said 2019? No, like 2020 to 2022, 24/7 championship. So that's officially over. No one's going to miss it. Dana Brooke tweeted about it, but I think it was just kind of a kayfabe kind of thing. And yeah, so good riddance. The 24/7 championship is out of here. And that is pretty much it. Pretty much it. Anything this week that came up that you did want to talk about?
No, it was a pretty. I think we covered pretty much everything. As you most likely have undoubtedly know, I don't really watch Raw and SmackDown. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I catch snippets
King of the
here
Ring.
and there.
King of the Ring might be coming back. And it's going to be coming back in its regular fashion, where it will be the tournament in one pay-per-view. So it won't be Raw, SmackDown. So they're going to go back to like how they did it in the 80s. So that was pretty decent.
King of the Ring was in the 80s, according to you.
Well, I mean, late 80s.
According to you, in the 80s.
It wasn't in the 80s at all?
You might want to think. You might want to rethink about that. The first one was in 1993.
Oh,
Bret Hart against Bam Bam Bigelow.
Early 90s. Excuse
Jesus.
my
oh my god.
Excuse my stupidity. Established in 1993. All right, me too. I look at Wikipedia.
No, I knew that because I saw the first King of the Ring on pay-per-view.
Okay, fair point. And aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So King of the Ring might be a pay-per-view again, and that would make sense if they're going to get rid of all of the gimmick pay-per-views. Having the King of the Ring might be nice. And Mick Foley and Adam Page leave Twitter. That's pretty much all the news really for this week.
Yeah. And also another bit of news too, on January 28th for the Royal Rumble watch party, or Royal Rumble Bash, excuse me, that's what it's called, seeing the ad.
It's Rumble Bash.
There's a very good chance, ladies and gentlemen, that you will see, whoever does attend, that you will see JLB wandering the streets of Hochelaga trying to find the place.
It's very possible. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore. You're thinking of back in the day when, Google Maps wasn't a thing yet. So I was lost like a I was a chicken with no head when Google Maps wasn't a thing. No, like a Google Maps, it's not too shabby.
I guess not.
But yeah, Rumble Bash, January 28th. Links will be down below for the address and all that. We are obviously going to keep reminding you. It's a little early, but we do have an event up for it. We will, if you're not doing anything on Royal Rumble, it's going to be a Saturday, January 28th. Please, by all means, come join us. We are going to be doing a live podcast there before the Rumble, and then after that, we're all going to watch it there. There's going to be drinks and food for you to buy if you want there as well, and should be a good time amongst a bunch of wrestling fans. You'll also hear Jeff make some snarky remarks, as he usually does. Probably say I smell like baby barf there too. He'll do a little bit of everything. He'll certainly keep you entertained.
I very well might not be the one doing that. I might bring a certain old man that we both know that wants to see the paper.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm just saying, because he's aware of this event.
Oh, no.
I told him about it. So he might want to come to Tetraville because that's where this event is going to be. And my old neck of the woods, obviously, KC still lives there. But, I might want to bring a certain somebody.
Oh, Jesus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might not see JLB there. I don't feel like getting I'm suddenly getting the case of a mad cow disease, and I don't think I'll be able to make it. Jeez. So definitely look out for that. Again, we'll be harassing you with a bunch of event notifications for that. So look out for that when it does come. And Jeff, they can, of course, always follow you only on social media. He is not blue check verified on Twitter because he ain't paying $8 for that stuff. But where can they follow you otherwise, good sir?
You can follow me on Twitter at JT9783 and on Twitch at Cybot_noob97. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Perfect. And of course, you can always follow us at WTN Wrestling on all social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, except on Twitch where it's WTN _wrestling talk now. So links again will be down below in the doobly doos for that. You can also follow me personally on Twitch at twitch.tv/JLBTLC25, where I stream a bunch of different stuff. Currently streaming Modern Warfare 2. Hopefully I'll be streaming the new AEW game if it ever freaking comes out. By the way, I think I reported last week it was supposed to be on Game Pass. I am now reporting it this week that is false. It will not be on Game Pass. AEW Games has confirmed that Game Pass will not be getting it. So for all you Game Pass people, don't be looking for AEW Fight Forever. It will not be on Game Pass there. And aside from that, you can certainly just keep posted on everything wrestling related on all our socials. We'll definitely run down everything there for you. Otherwise, you can always check back next Thursday where we will do it all over again, hopefully with the four amigos taking hosting duties, and we can have a discussion about Full Gear because it should be a great show. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, I always keep forgetting to go for the outro. I just talk and talk and talk.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. I just don't shut up. Like, Jesus, I need to be muted every once in a while. I digress. Guys, thank you again to the Ambrosias of the world, to the Nelsons of the world, everybody. Thank you again for listening. Until next Thursday, where we all run it down again. Ciao for now.